So let's speak to it. And that has to do with the fact that with the route you're going in terms of the, is it fire for fire or response for response, isn't you
can go ban
now
for ban.
descending to the same space or the same pedestal or the same bottom of that cliff that you're trying to say people should not descend to with the action you're taking already? If you get my drift.
You see? No. So two ways. With the action is taking, it's not the one that is suing, but the action is taking to kind of double down on that. Again, I'm saying that when it comes to internet rascality, when it comes to insults, when it comes to people not being checkered on the internet, Deji Adeyanju is one of those that laid the foundation. Don't let's deceive ourselves. Even though I'm not an Obidient and I don't support the Obidient movement and I don't even understand what they are for right now, because I mean Obidient is not a political party, it's a movement. Okay, fine. Deji, go back years after years. Deji comes out, even abuses activists like himself, abuses people that he had nothing to do. We knew how Deji grew in this movement, in this whole space. Sorry, Deji cannot come out now to be claiming that Obidients are this erratic. Deji himself is part of the problem, but that doesn't mean that I won't call out the obvious stunts that Peter Obi is doing. What Peter Obi has done effectively is just to have moved the conversation from we focusing on the ills or whatever is wrong with our politics and whatever is wrong right now with our politicians, and has brought that attention on himself. I don't know if it's going to pay him or it's going to serve him right at the end of the day, but I doubt it. And that was why I said, in one of my videos where people started cussing me out and, like rubbishing me, I said, this doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't think any judge would sit down and say, blah, blah, blah. Okay, he said you are the leader of the mob. Okay, now you're gonna lose Deji Adeyanju. Yes, that means you're gonna lose this. Peter Obi, you're gonna win this case because Deji called you the leader of the mob. That's a political statement. It's different from saying that, Peter Obi stole 20 million from this, but when you come, Peter Obi is corrupt, or Peter Obi is the leader of the bomb, or Peter Obi is a political fraud. All those stuffs are mostly semantics. Does it do a lot of damage to Obi? Yeah. But again, it's politics. It's politics. If you can't take that heat, move out of the kitchen. There are a lot of good other people from the Southeast that can contest, that have good track record. If you can't take the heat, move out. Move out. But if you want to respond to everybody calling you this or that, then it's a problem. Even you, Obi, you go online to make some tweets and then you delete it after 2 minutes. So what are we talking about?
You see.
If you live in Canada and are tired of prices rising while your income stays the same,
you should go back to his house and be eating jollof rice. Anyone who puts himself up for public office must be criticized, must be scrutinized, must be insulted.
Exactly.
Anybody who feels too big to be criticized or too big to be insulted, and it is his mentality that his aides and his Obidient mob
are running with.
Mentality they have. That, our candidate cannot be criticized, but Tinubu can be called a drug lord. Atiku can be called a looter, a thief. But our candidate cannot be criticized. Supreme Court judges can be named and shamed. Court of Appeal judges can be intimidated and criticized and even say they should go and lynch their children. You understand? But our candidate, we draw the line when our candidate is involved. So this is the political hypocrisy of these political extremists that we must never allow in our polity. We saw it under the Buharis. They didn't want anybody to criticize or analyze their candidate. And this is the same thing. Mr. Peter.
Yeah, I love how he tried to say the Buharist. Again, when you have these extreme fans, that's what happens.
The one that put himself up to be president. If he doesn't want me to criticize, I'm not insulting any Obidient, I'm not insulting anybody. It is the man that has put himself up for president. I'm analyzing. I'm saying that, as governor, you did this. You went around churches in this country to go and say church should take back their country. You spoke with Bishop Oyedepo and said that the election is a religious war. Therefore, you are a religious bigot. There's nothing I'm saying that is not in public domain. There's nothing I'm saying. or there's nothing I've said.
Again, we need to differentiate between two things. Now, I've seen a lot of reaction from people, especially the Obedient, that would say, oh, why is Tinubu complaining today? Why is this guy complaining today? Do you know what they're doing to Tinubu now? Tinubu did like times 10 of it to Jonathan. Exactly. That's the reason. Tinubu did that to Jonathan, not to Jonathan's supporters. When they were going after Jonathan, because Jonathan was the man in the arena at the time. Jonathan was the one calling the shots. Sorry, Jonathan was the one that gave a lot of local governments to Boko Haram's occupancy because he was the president at the time. So he was opposing Jonathan. I have never seen any time then when Tinubu went to start berating people from the South, or APC members started berating people from the South. They were focused on one man, which is Jonathan. And the plan was that, how do I get my party into power? That's politics. That's what politicians do. You don't expect Tinubu to go soft, on Jonathan. He had a mission to win in 2015. Now, if that was a good thing or bad thing, if Nigeria is better for that, that's another discussion. I don't want to go into that right now. Maybe one day we'll litigate, because I feel that Buhari took Nigeria back. Okay, Buhari took Nigeria back. But that was politics. Jonathan doesn't even need to be bad for him to have used that. Now, when you're going to criticize Tinubu, criticize the guy based on that. But the Obedient moved away from the guy and now focus on an entire supporter. Like, if you're supporting this Tinubu guy, then you are this, you have this. So you now left, the main target, and you're going after his supporters, and you're going after his region, and you're going after his tribe. Meanwhile, a lot of people in that tribe voted for your guy, Obi. He won in places where on a normal day, he shouldn't have, if we're going by tribe. He won in some states. In fact, Tinubu lost some states, not just Lagos. I think he also lost Osun State. So when you put all that together, and you're going after them, and you expect them not to fight back, they will. So now you're not getting the backlash of that. And now you're like, oh, everything is this and that, they're against your guy. No, nobody's against your guy. If your guy is going to run, if your guy is going to be the one that will be number one, then I'm telling you, he needs to develop some thick skin. And the first indication to that, okay, where I knew that Obi is going to have a problem, is that when they were having this, I don't even know if it was a debate or a question and answering, whatever they were doing then, before 2023 election, Tino, who now praises the ADC and Obi gang, was trolling Peter Obi. He kept on trolling. I blame the moderator for that incident. But at some point, this guy got to Peter Obi because Peter Obi doesn't have a thick skin. Peter Obi started throwing tantrums. Like, do you know, why are you doing this? Do you need to caution this guy? He's been saying this. I'm like, bro, president. You want to be the president of a country that is going through a lot. We have a long way to go. He also has a long way to go.
Or the things I've said. The only thing else that I forgot to say is that he's a political prostitute, which I've now added. So you should add it to the suit.
Well, Mr. Adeyanju, you are a lawyer. I know you. If you can hear me, you are a lawyer.
I know you've had to respond to people who said they are just 2 years at the bar. They've called you baby lawyer in that sense. But hey, you've been speaking at the NBA.
And it is within their right. It is within their right to insult me and to criticize me. It is within their right.
Okay.
Because I'm in the public.
There you go. But that's not where
exactly.
I'm going to. I just want to posit that you're a lawyer and you know how weighty some of these words are. If you go to the page 2.
Weighty words doesn't mean that he's going to lose the case. Defamation, I said in my last video, someone was abusing Kiniko. Defamation comes with an I bar. You have to prove it. Number one, even if what he's saying is wrong, you have to prove that Deji Adeyanju believes that what he is saying is wrong. And he still went ahead to say it anyways. Listen to that. You have to prove that what Deji is saying, he knows personally that he's wrong. This one, from what we've heard, does this feel like this guy seems that he knows he believes what he's saying? And then you have to go ahead and prove it. that he actually believed that it was wrong, but went again to say that to create an harm, to harm the candidate. And I'm saying that this case, at the end of the day, the most thing they would do is that, okay, you guys settle out of court. Just go ahead and go guys, go settle out of court, and you know, don't even bring, because now if you take this to court and then you start proving, okay, you're cross-examining this, and Peter Obi is a political prostitute. That one is just a word. He didn't say he is a prostitute. He's a political prostitute. And it's a term that is used for somebody that jumps from one party to another to another. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So what else? And I'm saying that, again, it is well.
Of the letter written to you, you used words like fraud. You used that to describe Mr. Peter Obi. I mean, you used the other
I've
word
repeated it.
time and again.
It here. I say it's a political fraud.
But I'm not done.
You've
used terms like thief in the post on X, even scum and the rest. I mean, aside the fact that you're a lawyer, a lot of people see you as a gentleman. And I mean, there are ways...
Gentleman? This guy, stop it. Gentleman, Deji. Maybe you don't know who you called into the studio. Even me, that I don't really follow him. I know Deji's most times his head is not always there. Let me just use that for lack of better words. Deji, gentleman. Have you seen anybody working with Showore that is a gentleman? I don't know, but Deji is not a gentleman. Don't use that word for gentleman. Deji is a rascal. Deji is a rascal. Is it now that he's wearing suits? I don't even know. Thank God I went to read law. Thank God that the guy eventually decided to go and read law. I'm telling you, now he's trying to even put some level of, now it's even better. This version of Deji is a more refined Deji. It's a more refined version. Don't use gentleman and Deji in the same sentence, I beg.
You can approach these issues without using those words. Why? On those same spaces, social media, there are young Nigerians who look up to you and they say, well, I want to be like Mr. Deji Adeyanju. But when they see...
This guy is, I guess, is a I don't know, is it Nepo or Lapo, baby? What do they call it? This guy is a cool guy, and I like the guy. Very cool, very cultured. You know, he dresses well. He's not a street boy. So I understand, like, Deji to be like, people are looking after you. I beg, don't look up to Deji. Anybody looking up to Deji? Okay, let's continue.
Using these sort of terms. I wonder, aren't there other ways to approach this without descending into the gutter, as Jeffrey said?
No, he's not descending into the gutter. He's actually trying to ascend from the gutter. Deji. Guy, I think you need to go back to his tweet when it first started. Go back to his tweet when it first started this whole gig. Jesus tried to ascend. Now he's wearing suits. Deji wearing suits, wearing tie, be clean guy. Because Deji's trying to play. See, Deji's trying to play both sides. Okay, he's not a politician. He's not supporting Tinubu. Like I said, people are like, he's not really supporting Tinubu like that. But Deji's trying to also build an image. Okay, so it's coming from this rusty, kind of style. But now he's wearing suits. They're calling him to MPA, which I'll still go into that one because I don't even understand. The guy was reading to introduce Malema, and I was like, how is he reading like this, right? I'll still go into that one. Even the invitation of Malema, I don't want to digress. I'll still go into that one because I don't know what's happening in this country. MBA, I don't even know what I don't know who is in charge in that of that organization or whatever institution. Deji is not somebody that you are saying children should look up to because it's this. Deji is not a Yogbadu. I'm telling you, this guy. So when I say people are looking up to him, that is a cool guy. Deji's not cool. Deji's even this Deji that we are seeing now. We just need to thank God for him. We just need to bless the Lord that Deji's now trying to be normal. And then Obi now came now and say, no, you can't be normal. I'm going to sue you. The guy like the other people they'll say those days before I was born again, if it's not that I'm born again, that's what is happening right now. They're just trying to bring back because he still has that thing inside him. The rascality still has it inside. So he's trying to suppress it. Okay, now it goes on, shows, it goes on media, tries to talk about stores, and it's now kind of putting some reasoning that, okay, fine, Tinubu is doing some things that we can say is good and all that, which, okay. But again, if you threaten the guy, it's like a guy that is smoking and then got born again and then left the smoke and then still trying to this smoke, this smoke, this smoke,
Being who you are.
Yeah, I didn't get that last part.
I will not
Said,
get
aren't
it.
there ways to approach
I
this
won't get
without
it.
simply
Don't worry,
descending
I
into the
understand the
gutter?
context of the question. I understand the context of the question. So simply put, very simple. Everything I've said is directed at Mr. Peter Obi. Everything I've said. And if you look at how the conversation started, I was not the one who initiated the criticisms. All I did was I criticized him and said, why should you be in Egypt when you have an election in Ekiti to win? Go and they came at me. And I said, I will never respond or criticize or insult any of them. I will focus on criticizing their candidate.
I'm a little bit. I'm sorry. I a lot to say on this clip alone. He made mention of something. Why is he in Egypt when they have an election in Ekiti? One politician that I believe, and again, Obidients, here I'm lying. One politician that I believe has a very high level of misplaced priority is Peter Obi. I've not seen his footprints becoming so much evident in all of these state elections. I've not seen his footprint become so much evident in terms of internal party affairs. I was saying something, I read something again about Abure and this interim LP chairman. I was like, this thing shouldn't have disintegrated to this manner. This thing should have been nipped in the bud. You know when? Since the days of Apapa. And Apapa, that one that wanted to take Abure away. It should have been nipped in the bud. Like, you should have said, guy, Peter Obi is here, take charge of the party, take control of the party. You got 6 million votes. LP can never dream of it. Use that. He didn't do that. Then it disintegrated, and it's still disintegrating. ADC now, they've joined their own too. One is trying to claim I'm the chairman. This one is not the chairman. Okay, continue.
And I have criticized their candidate to the best of my ability. And everything I said about him is the truth. And like I've said, I said,
well, maybe your truth,
civil suit of defamation. There's nothing. Look at. There's no name that they've not called Atiku, the president, and other people contesting for election. So why should Peter Obi's case should be different? Why? There's no name they have not called judges in this country. There's no name that have not been called by these people, by his mob. He's the leader of the mob. Because if he's not the leader of the mob, why are his close aides actively involved? The woman who defamed my wife works for him, the Sarah Ibrahim lady. We wrote a letter for her to retract on Monday to her. We wrote a letter to her on Monday to retract. And he wrote us a letter on Wednesday after she ran to him. So and this was one of the things we had wanted to prove.
Yeah, they didn't advise him well. I'm not even able to understand the thinking, process of people that are around Peter Obi. I try as much as possible to do that, but I don't know. Like most of them are also not really known like that. This Sarah Ibrahim. I mean, I just see her as an online influencer. I don't think that you want to make a policy and then it's Sarah Ibrahim that should be the person that you talk to, but it's okay.
That he's the one that sends them on this errand to attack people.
Mr. Adeyanju, that would be a bit of a stretch. Sending them on errand, whether endorsing or not, is a different kettle of fish. That's why we say you should be temperate with your word. Now you're a lawyer, you're not just an activist. But so let's look at broad.
Okay. When your aides attack people, especially your critics, and you don't caution them.
No, I'm not debating the issues. I'm debating the context.
If Bayo Ononuga insults Peter Obi, it is assumed that it is Tinubu that's doing it.
I understand what you're saying.
Bayo Ononuga works for someone. Bayo Ononuga works for someone. This lady works with him. She's always she's with him in the morning.
Just a
every time
moment.
of the day she's with him.
What's the name of the lady in question, so that we're clear?
Sarah Ibrahim.
Oh, okay. So that we're clear. But where I'm going to with my question, I was trying to say that you're a lawyer now, so, you know, there has to be that balance.
These people
So
should
we're
stop
trying
saying
to check
he's a
so
lawyer
that
now. But it's
we
okay.
don't go in excess. But you have a right to say what you have to say, but this is television, it's international. So,
and after all, he has the right of reply. He can come and say the things I've said is not true.
No, fair enough,
Mr.
yeah.
Adeyanju, no problem. That's another kettle of fish. Let's talk about the extremism in the political space. As you've rightly posited,
It's getting
not
crazy.
we've seen a situation in this country where politicians or supporters of politicians have carried the president's coffin. Put his name on that coffin, carry the coffin and put the president.
Buhari is not supporters of the Buharis.
Yes,
I already mentioned them.
I'm just giving general context now. So, because where I'm going to with this question is there really a way to stop this? Because it looks like it takes turns for every political dispensation. Do you think this is a battle that is winnable?
Yes, I think it's a winnable battle, and that is why some of us are now challenging them and saying, no. We can't have this in our polity. It's too bad.
Bro.
The political actors need to caution their supporters. You cannot just allow people to insult. Even people on these channels TV, others have been bullied, called all sorts of names. Maybe because they asked some questions on interview sessions, or they did not ask the questions the Obedient mob wanted them to ask, and they are labeled APC supporters. They are paid, they are insulted, they are dehumanized.
Game is game, bro.
The Buharis, just like I said in my opener, that the Buharis started this thing, and that because they were not cautioned.
No, not those Buharis. Deji, you also are part of those who started this. Don't put the blame on Buharis. We know you. We know when you started, Deji. Don't come here and BS us. We know when you started. You are part of the problem. In fact, I would say that you did more. Maybe the Buharis came later. But you can't tell me that when they're writing about the history of uncautioned comments online, when they're talking about the history of this kind of behavior online, you can't tell me that Deji, Adeyanju, was not part of those who planted the seed. Okay? So if you want to, you have to also understand and know how you yourself did wrong. I mean, we're all humans, right? I also do wrong at times. But for you to come here and tell me that it was just the Buharis that started it, no, I won't take that. Deji, you were also part of those who started, and that's why I'm repeating it again for the 100th time. Deji, go back and look at what you did. Go back and look at the utterances you made 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, 10 years ago. When you were planting the seed, you thought it wasn't going to grow? Yeah, you can be annoyed with the Obidients. They've taken it too far. But somebody started it. Started from someone, the other people built on it, and then it becomes what it is today. So if we're going to be sincere to ourselves, and you want this to really go away, then you have to also look inwards. You have to also look inwards. Sorry, that's it. That's it, bro.
They now have taken it a step further. And that is
From
why
where
I
you
say
started.
that there is no way. The beauty of democracy, one of the tenets of democracy is that people have the right to support any candidate of their choosing. I voted for my election in the last election. How can I be termed an enemy of Nigeria because I voted for my election? Why should Peter Obi supporters not be allowed to vote Peter? Or Tinubu supporters not be allowed to vote Tinubu, or Atiku supporters, or supporter, or supporter of anybody else? Why should people be compelled, be forced, that, you must only see things in my way? That if you don't see things in my way, you are an enemy and we will deal with you accordingly. These guys threatened me during the last election that they were going to beat me. There's nothing that is why I'm eagerly waiting for the courts. I can't.
That one is too straight. Like, how now? How would they beat you? Like, I mean, metaphorically speaking.
Even wait, I'm so excited to go to court.
Well, Mr. Adeyanju, as we wind down, I mean, you mentioned Sarah Ibrahim, and it's only fair to even speak to some of the things she has said, because there's been a lot of back and forth between you and her. And, you know, she put up a post recently that you're a married man and you zoom into her picture for your screensaver and you post about her every day. She describes it as obsession. Are you obsessed with her, just to speak to that?
What? What the hell? What did I just hear? I want to wait for the answer to this question.
Even if I were to ever be obsessed with anyone in this life, is this somebody that does errand girl for Peter Obi that how? Just imagine. Just imagine.
What do you mean? Do you know how many people that wants to do errand girl for Peter Obi? No, for you, some people, their whole aim in life is to meet Peter Obi. There was this guy that was trying to open one so-called academy. I don't even know what that is all about. Trying to say if Peter Obi doesn't come, and that's what they've reduced Peter Obi to. If Peter Obi doesn't come to commission his stuff, I was going to kill himself. So, errand girl to Peter Obi, in the eyes of Obidients, is an honor. So, I don't know how that's a problem with you. And that's a lie. Okay?
Of all the people in Nigeria, I'm not obsessed with Nollywood actors, actresses. I'm not obsessed with Instagram baddies. Somebody that does errand girl for Peter Obi, that works with Peter Obi, that insults people.
So now he's telling us that his Nollywood actresses be well and Instagram buddies that he's interested sorry.
Daily for a living.
Subscribe for premium to stop all this ad.
All right, Mr. Adeyanju.
I will do that, but not now.
Sorry, Kyrie. So, at the end of the day, I'm sure that all of you, we all get insulted, we all get called out. So it's not just, it's everywhere. So supporters of APC, PDP, Labour, everybody, we get all of that. Perhaps it's part of what comes to the job.
I would say the moment you know you're speaking, I get called out. I get called out by Obedient. I get called out by, different set of people. So it is what it is.
But as far as this job is concerned. But in closing, before we let you go, Mr. Adeyanju, if they take this case to court, are you also going to, have you instituted the suit against Sarah already? I just wanted to be sure of that, so I'll put the facts right. Because I wanted to know what actually...
We are filing this morning.
Okay,
Wow.
Are you filing because she didn't apologize?
Yeah, we gave her a letter of retraction. I've never known this lady. I didn't even know the lady existed until the day she called my wife a whore.
Okay.
I've never known the lady. There was no context whatsoever.
Yeah, okay. We needed to put
I was just criticizing her candidate.
So this one...
Okay. We need to put all the facts on the table and all the issues that brought this latest round of possible litigations that we'll maybe witnessing in the coming days. But that's a much better for you. Kyrie.
Oh, yes, Mr. Deji, we have to thank you for your time. The last page, but...
So, apparently, Peter Obi fell into his trap. So there's a sue, and then there is more like an indirect counter sue. So, because it's not a counter sue per se with the same subject, but there's a kind of a counter sue in this whole thing. It's gonna be interesting. I can't wait. See content too. Free content. Want to see how the case will go. We want to see how the court will take the whole thing. But again, yeah.
The way of that document
what
says
it is.
that you have 7 days. The letter was written
so
on,
by now it should be like how many days now?
Of August. I don't know when you received it.
So today's 30.
I'm guessing you have about 4 more days to retract it. Else, it is said here.
I'm so scared. Oh, I'm shaking in my pants. Oh.
So are you going to be retracting it? Because they said that this will include a claim for aggravated damages for defamation, an order of injunction, and cost of legal proceedings.
I have doubled down. I will never retract.
All right.
I doubled down. That's why I posted it and doubled down.
Okay. So this is a case of you'll never turn back. It's already too late, I imagine. But
Yes,
Mr. Adeyanju,
absolutely.
we have to thank you for your time on the program. And we really hope that the political space, both online and offline, is less toxic, because it doesn't do well for our democracy. Human rights activist and lawyer, Mr. Deji Adeyanju.
Yeah, so that's it. One sec. It'd be unfair to my conscience as a Christian and a journalist to allow Deji Adeyanju to continue with his false narrative in the name of activism. Okay, sometimes in July 2022, ahead of the elections, Peter Obi had picked the Labour Party presidential ticket. Adeyanju was one of his ardent supporter. Wow. I was contemplating running under the Labour Party for the Abuja Municipal Area Council seats. Okay, as a friend of Deji and Obi, I decided to broker a meeting, and as I was contemplating Deji getting a waiver. What was all this? What was all this? To pick the House of Rep tickets. I agree. Like I always said, Deji is not your usual activist. Deji is all for Deji. Wow, but this crazy. The desperation of former GJites, now Atiku Soputka, to come once again to have access to the villa will have them doing anything. When Atiku sued Loretta, we were all saying it's high time. But when it comes to Peter Obi, they would join Tinubu supporter the way they once joined Buhari supporter. The way you say Onochi was a government appointee is how Deji is a lawyer called to bar. Okay. Deji lied. Okay. Deji lied, right? 3 hours of frank talk. So Deji said, yeah, that they actually had subtract. That was offered either in monetary terms or as a physical gift. In fact, except for our telephone, we took nothing to the place. A few weeks later, Deji was quoted as saying that Obi came to offer him money. And Obi told him he invested in the family business as a governor. I didn't know what caused the sudden fabrication. When I was expecting Obi to have offered something, I was disappointed it didn't come. I couldn't make sense out of it. I called Deji. I wanted to know if he met with Obi after our meeting, and he kept mum mute. Okay. I was forced to issue a statement then to clarify the issue. Find the 2022 statement attached. Okay. Let's see. Is therefore still finding necessary to state the story of what happened and to express disappointment that someone I called a friend goes such on a voyage of blackmail blatantly. Be careful who you call your friend. Be careful who you call your friend. It's just crazy. Okay? Yeah. Okay, they're saying he didn't offer him anything. Again, if the offer was verbal, it's going to be, did you said, Peter Obi said. If there was no third party, if there were moments that they were together all alone, yeah, and that's it. Okay. They keep the fire burning. So this was once a Peter Obi supporter. Now it's gone. It's gone his own way. Peter Obi supporter, keep the fire burning. Peter Obi is the best candidate. This is my opinion. If you disagree, that's one of your problem. The PDP folks on social media are angry with those supporting Peter Obi because their votes is at risk. They feel threatened. Yeah, they were actually threatened. Peter Obi will do very well on the ballots. Wow.
Huge joke. You know, the government, this government is not different from a military regime. If Tinubu is on the ballot, Atiku is on the ballot, Peter Obi is on the ballot, even if, and I don't drink alcohol, I've never drank alcohol in my life, even if, assuming without considering that I'm drunk, I will vote Peter Obi. The national commissioners and NECA politicians take it to the bank. I'm the one, my name is Adeyanju, I'm the one saying it. In the country, wow. The government is not just a huge joke.
Wow. Our times change, right? Okay. With the I'll vote, like these fools are doing me favor by not voting him. Tinubu is a man, vote him or not, he will leave power one day. All these fools acting like it's some sort of apocalypse or the end of the world. Okay. Yeah. If he votes or not votes is his own. Okay. That's it. Should Obi should sue, but prison shouldn't. Yeah. I mean, just tell me one reason why. Don't start listing 12 reasons. Why? Just wrap it up, bro. Suing Deji is a waste of time. I completely agree with Rudy Fire. He has nothing to lose. Exactly. Like Peter Obi is there. Okay? Peter Obi is way there. This guy is here. Like, what are we even talking about? Which I'm certain will turn me into breakfast, lunch, and dinner some quarters. Share an emotional perspective on Peter Obi in pending libel suit against Deji. This might be good. Let me see. Yeah, so this guy, what's his name? Farouk. Let's see what he's talking about. And what irrelevantly humorous social media denizens are calling the battle between social media president and Temu lawyer. So be like it's pre-litigation. Okay, let's see. Let me just go if I can see me just for instance. That sticks in during a okay, Candice Broker National was why Obi as the government invested 30 million in international bureaus. That was a good question. I brought international bureau into Nigeria as the governor of the state. They built a greenfield facility in the state. And they came to me and said, as our partner, we want you to own 50% of this company. I said, no, right now. I'm the governor. Obi said, I know the future of the bureau and I want the state to own 10%. And since I'm no longer in the company, they can own 5%. I put in 30 million of state money there. It's now worth 100 million and still there. No other state in this country has such investment. Now said, this Obi had no direct stake in this. This is reported. Next, that name next. Okay, Mr. Obi was there as the governor while his wife was what? A secretary. But these people, okay, that is no longer involved in the company, which means it was at some point. That is, there was a company that will be created that invested into that, international bureau. Again, politicians do this thing. The problem is that you're trying to claim that you don't have any stake, and trying to defend and try to put all these innuendos into it, ends up backfiring.